Hello. Nice. Still warm. This is a freshly laid egg.
Doesn't get any better than that. You got some little currant tomatoes, pear tomatoes.
There's a lot of work in getting this little tomato here.
This kitchen garden, behind Chef John Beche's La Provence restaurant in Lacombe, Louisiana, is a realization of a long-standing dream to produce his own ingredients for all of his restaurants.
I started really kind of thinking about how did I learn to cook. I learned to cook in this beautiful town of Obermunstertal, Germany, where we kept pigs in the cellar of this old restaurant that I worked in. They had managed to sustain this restaurant for years and years just using what was local within this Munster Valley. So I started thinking about that. Why can't I start a movement like that in my own backyard? And that's what we've done.
Beche worked with Chef Steve McHugh to build this multi-acre farm.
We have several different varieties of chickens that lay all kinds of eggs, brown, blue, you name it. We do gardening, tomatoes, melons, squash, kales, lettuces. A beehive that does wonders for our flowering plants.
Our main focus was with the few acres that we have at La Provence. We can't grow enough vegetables, obviously, to sustain what our needs are. But what we have found is that we can do a heck of a good job on pigs. We have our pig program, which are Berkshire pigs that we started raising right behind La Provence and breeding, and now have kind of taken and spread out over 3 farms. So what we're doing with those are all going into the smokehouse at La Provence.
There's actually 10 slabs of bacon hanging in here from 5 hogs that we had slaughtered about 3 weeks ago. And they've been curing. Now they're out here. They're going to smoke for about a week, and then it's going to be a beautiful thing. Everything you see here that we're doing came on the idea of necessity. Things were very tough at times to, especially after the storm, getting our hands on a lot of produce, getting quality meat. And we just got to the point where we just really wanted to control our quality the best way we knew how, which is to do it ourselves.
We started with some Charolais beef cattle, and we have probably about 1,300 acres on the North Shore that just some of our locals, frankly, have said, hey, you can let your beef cattle graze on our land. The big question is, how do you grow enough fruit and vegetables to sustain a restaurant group? And the key here is to combine forces with local farmers that we have already, and then also look at a future of building new farms and new relationships.
One of the restaurant group's biggest endeavors is to work with a group of local Vietnamese vegetable farmers. Together, they're establishing a 28-acre urban farm where produce will be grown specifically for use in Beche's restaurants.
And it's not always cheaper to do local, but I think it's something that we're committed to. It's something that Chef Steve McHugh has really dedicated his career towards. And he's really helped us progress from being just a restaurant to a restaurant that has a responsibility to a community. Hopefully, if we're successful with this over the long term, maybe we'll see national chains start thinking about more responsible ways of doing business and really think about what impact are we making in our own backyards. And at the end of the day, that's how we're really going to be judged.
Meet more farmers, chefs, purveyors, and mixologists at eattv.com.